Hey guys, welcome to OurTake. We're going to be trying something different with this video. We're going to be giving our take on what you should be streaming.
That's right, on Hulu, Amazon Instant, and Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, so
We chose a little off the radar, three
movies that y'all should definitely check out.
that are a little, I don't want to say under the radar, but maybe under the radar, underappreciated, maybe a revisit.
Yeah, it's more. I would say more of things that need to be revisited. It's not, they're definitely movies that people have heard of, but it's something that
If you haven't seen them,
it's like you should definitely check them out.
We didn't want to pick things like Indiana Jones.
I mean, by all means, if you haven't seen that movie, go watch Indiana Jones or Jurassic Park. That's not even on streaming, but just watch Jurassic Park.
Or the Avengers movies.
Yeah, like if there's bigger movies, you definitely go see these. But it's like if you're just trying to find something to watch, these are three very high quality recommendations, in my opinion.
Yep. Chronological order?
Yeah, sure. So let's start way back.
Yeah, old school, 1940.
Mm-hmm.
His Girl Friday.
Yeah. You saw this for the first time this past week, right?
Yes, I did, and
It's something.
it is something. It's very good, and you can see where a lot of people today probably draw influence from Howard Hawks films.
Oh, for sure.
The dialogue in this movie is at like a breakneck pace. And I'd almost recommend watching it with closed caption to try to catch everything that's
I almost would recommend not doing that because I don't think the captions could keep up.
I watched it with closed caption.
Oh, did you? Okay.
It keeps up pretty well.
It's astonishing though how fast it is.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Sorkin, writer of Social Network and Steve Jobs, All the President's Men, he could probably watch this movie and think to himself, they need to slow down. His dialogue is known for being quick, but this is. It's another level of quick.
And it's a very simple story. It's a newspaper editor finds out his ex-wife, or not ex-wife yet.
They are separated, but they are not divorced.
And she comes to him for divorce papers
because she's trying to get married.
She's trying to get married. She's met someone. She's trying to get married, and he wants her back. And that's the setup for the movie. And it's a screwball comedy.
So much crazy shit happens in this movie.
Very politically incorrect at times.
At times, like the whole movie.
Of course, but you say that, and it was the 1940s.
Yeah, but it's strange.
Cary Grant plays a psychopath.
He's a literal psych. I know this sounds wonderful.
It plays funny.
It plays really well.
When you watch it, especially when you find out stuff he's doing, and you're going, you're nuts.
He's insane. He's like Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
Yes, very similar.
The way he's just manipulating people.
Yeah,
it's insane. But because of the time and what's kind of going on, if you actually do just focus on the dialogue,
and actually they're not those two characters, Rosalind
Russell,
and Cary Grant are actually, the chemistry's halfway decent there. It's actually pretty good. And
no, the chemistry's fine.
But I was gonna say, and how the characters are written, they have very similar personalities. They will do whatever they have to get what they want.
Yeah.
And
just like how he gives her kind of, not shit, but he gets on her nerves a little bit. She's able to do the same to him.
Yeah. And they play off the fact, ultimately what makes their relationship work throughout the entire movie is they both love what they do.
Yeah.
That's their life is...
Mm-hmm.
It's news and being
a reporter.
Yeah, and everything.
And they're good at their job.
And everything that involves. And they're respected. Like, you see throughout the movie, they're like, she's very well respected. And probably in a time when women weren't always the most well-respected people, she was very well respected. Yeah. But it's very good, guys. Check it out. It's definitely worth a watch. It's entertaining.
It's something, just... Final note, kind of like Quentin Tarantino, he talks about how some of his favorite movies growing up were Howard Hawks screwball comedies, and watching this movie, you can kind of see where
there's some influence.
There's definite influence there for sure. So if it's kind of like if you like Tarantino, it's like watch what he watched to like movies, you know.
I can see even where like Sorkin.
So,
I can see where a ton of people drew influence from the way this is written.
Those Howard Hawks screwball comedies were definitely so influential.
And it's not only the dialogue back and forth; it's in one scene you could have 3 different conversations going on,
which is crazy.
And
it's
the
fun
way
to watch, but
they start and stop conversations, and what you pick up from each conversation, and to think about how, like, what words draw your. It's something.
Yeah, no, it's an impressive piece of filmmaking too.
For sure.
It's good
for sure.
So,
next on our list,
yes, something that I think, especially with Aladdin just coming out,
and we mentioned in our Aladdin review that Aladdin didn't feel very much like a Guy Ritchie film,
right? And Guy Ritchie. Probably my favorite Guy Ritchie film is a film from 2000 called Snatch. This was his sophomore effort. It was a follow-up to Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Which we also recommend.
Yeah, that one's also on Netflix as well. And Snatch is on Netflix. And this movie, it's kind of hard to describe. I mean, it takes place in London, in England. But there are... about 6 different storylines kind of going on?
And they all kind of intertwine as the story goes on, and I think ultimately it's a crime comedy.
It's definitely a comedy, and there's definitely crime that happens.
Yeah.
And
Brad Pitt's a bare knuckle boxer.
Well, see, this is what I was about to say. This movie does kind of hold a special place in my heart because I remember the first time I watched it. Not only when you watch Guy Ritchie films, especially his earlier ones, you cannot describe it any other way unless you say it's just a Guy Ritchie film. It's a very distinct style, which is kind of why I was mad at Aladdin.
Yeah,
was that there was no. It didn't feel like a Guy Ritchie film.
No.
And Snatch, I think, Lock, Stock, and Snatch are definitely his most defining Guy Ritchie films.
It's almost tough when somebody asks me, like, when I tell them they should see either Lock, Stock or they should see Snatch, and they haven't seen any of his other movies, and they ask me, like, well, what is it like? And I go, I can't really...
It's hard to describe.
And I said, other than saying it's a Guy Ritchie film, it's kind of tough to describe.
Because, I mean, there's like 8 different storylines. There's a couple different characters that are trying to get their hands on this massive diamond.
Mm-hmm.
But then for some other storylines, that diamond, no one's even thinking about the diamond. Like, they're just dealing with other stuff. But it's funny to see how all these characters at some point have to interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these characters they're crazy. Not like...
Well, except the one person you wouldn't think.
Right. Jason Statham plays the straight character, which is insane. He plays it
really well.
And he does play it well. And I kind of wish he would, at some point in his career, go back and and I'm not saying do like a dramatic, like, performance.
No, this is definitely a comedy. He just plays the straight character in the comedy.
He's not getting into fights. He's not acting cool.
I actually think he gets beat up in this movie.
Kind of. He kind of does. But another reason this movie... there's 2 reasons why it holds a special place in my heart. One, I saw this movie kind of early on in my life where I really was getting into movies. And this was one of those first movies where I watched and I was like, I didn't know you could do this. You know, like, you would watch this movie and it was something unlike I'd really ever seen. I was like, it was cool to think that, like, when you're making film, there's no limits. It's like you can do whatever you want. The other reason this holds a special place in my heart is this was the movie that made me realize Brad Pitt's an awesome actor. Because up until this point, I had known Brad Pitt as either kind of like the Hollywood heartthrob, or he was just like in these action movies. But I was like, he's not that great of an actor. And then I saw this movie. I was like, oh, he plays a crazy pikey, which is like an Irish gypsy.
Well, I don't even know if he's crazy. He's just a pikey.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's the way
he's an Irish gypsy.
He's a
bare knuckle boxer.
He's a bare knuckle boxer. And this is peak Brad Pitt as far as shredded.
Oh my god! This is right after Fight Club.
Yeah,
so
he's just ripped.
He's in peak physical form.
But his character is so. He's he's like zany, but you really like him, you know? And
you can barely understand it.
And that's what's also nuts. This movie, keep in mind, it's like an all-British production, and I think Brad Pitt's he's one of 2 Americans in this movie. And except he's not playing an American.
No.
And you can literally barely understand him. And they make that joke midway through the movie where he's sitting there talking to Jason Statham, and Jason Statham turns around with his friend and goes, "Do you have any idea what he was talking about?" And he does he pulls it off.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah, after this movie, I went back and started watching other Brad Pitt films and realizing, no, this guy is a stud.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Now, we will say, other than Brad Pitt being shredded, this is a guy film. Like,
yeah. It's a Guy Ritchie film, but it truly is a movie made for guys.
Yeah, I'm not saying women can't enjoy it, because it actually, it's a good movie.
I think it's a solid movie.
But it's you know,
it caters more to the males.
Yeah.
So, I'll leave it at that. I think it's a pretty cool. I think it's just an interesting movie.
It's definitely something everybody should see.
It's unique.
Yeah.
It's unique,
and especially to get an idea of what a Guy Ritchie film is.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I like all of Guy Ritchie's films, but this is probably my favorite.
Yeah. I'd probably say the same.
Yeah.
I've probably seen it the most, for sure. So,
and then last up on our list.
I was about to say, we're leading into our last film, which is one I think this one flew under the radar.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You watched this. We went to go see it. I think it's second week out, and
it was. Yeah, I guess it was second.
It was the second or third week, but there were already I remember we decided to go see it, and there were already rumors they were going to be taken out of theaters because nobody was seeing it.
Yeah, basically the show times have been reduced so much, and it was nuts because no one was seeing it. But it had like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and we were like,
the cast in it was great.
Yeah, and the filmmaker is great, and we were like, okay, and we ended up having some of the most fun I've had in the theater in a while.
Oh, it's a great watch.
And it's available on Amazon. It's an Amazon movie. You can watch it. It'll probably be there forever. And it's the 2016 film Logan Lucky.
It's something special. I mean, it
is. They say it in the movie. It's kind of like a self-aware joke, but they call themselves the Ocean 7-Eleven.
And it's basically redneck. It's like a redneck Oceans film.
Yeah, it's like Ocean's 11 if everyone was from the backwoods of West Virginia.
Yeah,
and it's bolstered by like an amazing cast.
First of all, let's talk about who directed it.
Steven Soderbergh directed this, who directed the Ocean's movies.
It's very...
So he can craft he crafts those heist movies really well.
It plays very much like the Ocean's movies in terms of how it's constructed. But I would honestly say that the acting and the story in this might be better than those Ocean's movies.
Dude, I have more fun in this one, which is saying a lot because especially Ocean's 11, I can watch Ocean's 11 anytime.
Yeah.
But I think I would prefer Logan Lucky.
And I think the best acting performance in this is Adam Driver.
See, I'd have to disagree. I'm not.
You're gonna go Daniel Craig?
Yeah, I'm going Daniel Craig as Joe Bang. Are you talking when he's doing chemistry on the concrete? Are you kidding me? Oh my God!
No, there's so many people in this movie that just make you laugh out loud,
but for different reasons.
Yeah.
See, when Channing Tatum's the lead in this movie, and he makes you laugh because he's like the straight character. And even though he's playing all this out, he's having to surround himself with these like just crazy people, and he's like, God, what? I cannot believe I'm dealing.
And his character probably has one of the sweeter aspects of this movie, which is
his daughter,
his relationship with his daughter, and why this whole heist is happening is partly because of his daughter.
Yeah,
and
but it's
who he surrounds himself.
His brother is Adam Driver, and I will agree. He has some great lines in this movie, and he's so deadpan.
Oh, and everything.
Like he's not.
There's no animation in his.
Like even when there's a certain part where
there's something happens
where you think he's gonna lose it, and he just doesn't. I mean, he makes it clear that he's upset, but he's not. He's still so deadpan, but he plays it off so well, and some of the lines he gives are so funny.
And then there's the Presley. It's
Riley Keough from like
Keough.
Mad Max, and she's in the Netflix movie Hold the Dark. She's in American Honey. She's
done some of the things, but she's really good.
She's really good in this. Yeah,
and they're all siblings. It's her,
Adam Driver, and Channing Tatum are siblings. But my favorite character is Daniel Craig playing Joe Bang, who they have to break out of prison to help them basically perform this heist at the Coca-Cola 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And Daniel Craig, it was the first time we watched it, I realized, I was like, it has been so long since I've seen like a Daniel Craig movie where he's not playing Bond. Mm-hmm. He's not playing like a cool character, and he plays this like crazy redneck guy named Joe Bang. He's so crazy, but he is so funny. Oh my god, it's he's great. And something else that's worth noting about this movie, and to give you an idea of why it's so watchable, in my opinion, there is truly no villain.
No.
Seth MacFarlane plays a character that you dislike. He's like a dick. He's an ass.
But
he's such a minor character.
Yeah, he's just an ass. He plays a role in the final outcome, but he's not even realizing how much of a role he's playing in the outcome.
You don't realize it until the very, very end.
Yeah.
But the rest of the cast, when you're introduced to Channing Tatum's ex-wife, who's Katie Holmes, you think you're going to dislike her. You end up not disliking her.
Yeah.
Same with her new husband, who's David Denham, who is Roy from The Office. You think you may dislike him. You don't dislike. It's all these people that you're like, they're going to be bad, and they're not.
No.
And I think it's a little more true to life, where it's like not everyone's bad.
Yeah. And fun fact about this movie, the writer.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say this. Okay, the movie's credited by a woman named, I think it's Rebecca Blunt,
who is not a person.
She might be. Well, here's the thing: no one has for real met her. The people on the cast and crew said like we've had like email correspondence, which is it leads a lot of people to assume that either Steven Soderbergh wrote it, because Steven Soderbergh's done that before. Like he's his own cinematographer, but he'll credit like it's like a made up name, and that's kind of what I lean towards. But another thing that
I'm in your boat. I think it's Soderbergh. He just used the ghostwriter. Like it adds to the.
It's just like why not? But then there's also the theory that like maybe it's someone that's famous that usually doesn't write these types of stories and doesn't want to be known as writing a story. I don't know why you would do that.
Yeah, it's the way it's written and the way people talk to each other.
It's very Soderbergh.
It's very Soderbergh,
which leads me to believe that it's Steven Soderbergh, or the small chance, or it might be real. Rebecca Blunt might just be a for real person.
Yeah, that
just had this one screenplay and just gave it to Steven Soderbergh. I don't know, but this was a movie that I was pissed that not a lot of people saw.
It was one of the best movies of that year,
and it really not like an Oscar level.
No,
but from a sheer
entertainment.
What movies are supposed to give you as a viewer, Logan Lucky gives it to you.
Yeah,
and I think it's original movies
really
like this.
It really was a shame nobody saw it.
Yeah,
but those are our 3 movies.
Yeah,
those are our 3 movies.
Definitely
we highly recommend all of them. We plan on doing more videos like this in the future. We'll try to at least get 1 out a week. Maybe 2.
No, we should easily be able to get definitely 1 out a week.
But just to recap, His Girl Friday is on Amazon.
Snatch is on Netflix. So is Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. They kind of go hand in hand, but Snatch is definitely the one I recommend.
And then Logan Lucky, as we said, it's an
Amazon studio, so it's just on Amazon Prime. It probably will not get taken off. I don't see why it would.
No, I don't see why either.
But
yeah, we'll catch you next time with our take.